What's happening, everybody? Y'all know what time it is. It's Mahlon, Tane. And yes, we got another FORD here, y'all. Yes. Today, we will be replacing a gearbox, okay? This is a F350 Superduty with a 7.3 power stroke. I got Big Boy and Turkey here with me. Let's get it on and popping, y'all. Let's go. Alright, y'all. So, without further ado this time, we've been getting a lot of haters on our channel. They come on, they want to complain, blah, 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 blah. Hey, out of one or two y'all, everybody else seem to be liking the content. So, it's all good. But we really appreciate y'all tuning in and checking out our content. Again, we make this video for our children so they can have something to reference back to later on in life if they ever decide to do this type of maintenance on their vehicles, okay? Anyway, with all that being said, right here is the gearbox. We've removed the battery. This thing had a cold air intake, or what is it? What is it? Yeah, it's a cold air intake filter. It's a K&N filter. Yeah, right there. We're not sponsored by these people, but anyway, you might see a few people where they'll remove that fender liner, which really would be helpful, but with this 7.3, it's so bulky, it's so big. You got those dual batteries, and when I work on things, I want to try to be as thorough as I can to, identify any more issues that could be happening, that could be leading to what's about to happen, if that makes sense, right? Anyway, so I wanted to inspect all these lines, like this power steering fluid line, and of course these other lines going to the gearbox. As you can see, this thing is very oily, okay? So sometimes it is cool to try to get the job done very fast, but you might miss something. Then you have to go back over it, and now you're doing double work, triple work, quadruple work, and I don't like that. Know what I mean? If that's some of the other people's method, hey, kudos to them. Know what I mean? I'm not no hater, but this is our process, okay? So with that being said, it would be nice to be able to remove that fender liner, but sometimes it could be problematic. You have all that other crud over there, and it's just more to deal with for me. So what we've got done so far is we've loosened up the bolt going into the steering shaft to the gearbox. We've also disconnected the tie rod to the, forgot what you call that goes underneath the gearbox. If y'all know, leave it on the comments below. I've also loosened these two lines up, and again remove the air filter, battery, all that good stuff. Now all we got to do is, like what I just said, is remove these two lines and back up that steering shaft from the gearbox, and we ready to drop this thing. Another thing is, I'm not gonna be able to record all this because, hey man, I'm up in the air. That's a long way down. Anyway, another pointer for y'all: when y'all doing this kind of work, use a ramp. If you're at the crib, use a ramp. If you're at the shop, you got a lift, hey, that's cool. And the reason why I say use a ramp is because I want that axle stationary. I don't want it pivoting. I don't want it turning and messing up the alignment. Okay. But again, this is our process. You do you. It's all good, baby. So let me get these lines off and we'll be back.
We're on the driver's side. We're down here under this fender and stuff. On the frame here, these 3 bolts right here are connected to your gearbox, which is back there. Right. So it's behind there, and back there is your steering gearbox. So we're just gonna.
What size socket do you use?
We are using a 14 millimeter. Ooh, camera won't show it, but this is a 14 millimeter deep socket.
Once you break them loose, you can run the impact on them.
That's loose. So now we're just gonna grab the impact, put that socket on, and zip all 3 out.
You gonna leave one on.
Alrighty, we got the impact all set up. Let's get it on.
Turkey, take the top one all the way out, and the one to your right, the bottom right, that's the one you do last. Pull them bolts out, dude.
And yes, for that last bolt, he did switch sockets, but that is just a shorter 14 millimeter.
Alright, y'all, we got the gearbox out. Now we'll just remove this big bolt. I believe this is what, a 32 millimeter?
33.
It's a 33 millimeter, not bolt, it's a nut for this Pitman arm. I gotta try to break that loose right quick. Alright, y'all. So I ended up laying it sideways and, you know, trying to step on this thing so it'll stop turning on me. Yeah, that's not gonna work. That ain't gonna work, y'all. That ain't gonna work. Let me see something. Probably should put this thing on a vise. Need somebody heavier than me. Turkey, come push this ball. When you don't have the right tool or the press, this is what you got to do for an alternative. See that? It worked. You just need about 165 pounds to hold it down. That's it. Just about 165, y'all. Alright. Our turkey's getting that off. Y'all stand by. Alright, y'all. So let's get this new nut off. This is our new gearbox right here. Let's go ahead and remove that protective covering. On your spleen or spline, whatever you want to refer to it as, for your gearbox, you do have 4 different indexes, okay, or slots or dials, whatever you want to refer to them as, right here. So like this is a wider gap, there go another index right there, and so on. You have 4 of them. And we did get the Pitman arm off. We actually went to, and we're not sponsored by them, but we actually went to AutoZone. They have this I think it's called a pickup. What is it called? A pickup Pitman arm remover tool. Anyway, I was like 105 right now, but they were nice enough to actually let us use it at the store and get that Pitman arm off. And there's no modifications needed. I'm probably gonna end up getting one of those tools. Again, we're not sponsored by AutoZone, but I just figured I throw that out there since, you know, it's one of those products that you can't go wrong in. And if I get a chance, I'll post a picture or something with the SKU on this on the screen, probably right here, maybe right there, I don't know, somewhere. Now I apply some anti-seize on there. It's not recommended. Again, this is our process. All right, this is the Pitman arm. Your Pitman arm has 4 index. You can probably see it right here better. There's one index. There's another index right there. This Pitman arm was indexed this way, so we want to put it the same as original. Okay, and we're going to utilize the old lock washer that actually came with the old one. This new one, for some reason, it's missing O-rings. We did have to replace the O-rings. Whenever you replace your gearbox, make sure you replace your O-rings inside your lines. And this should have came with a lock washer, but it didn't. So let me push this down a little bit and we'll be back. Stand by. All right, all I did is like push it down and wiggle it. Okay, and it's almost all the way in, but not quite. What we'll do is we'll pull it down with the new nut. We're not gonna go back with that old nut, but yeah. So let me go grab my impact and my socket and we'll be back. Stand by. All right, 33 millimeter socket and the earthquake. That earthquake tired, y'all. That earthquake is tired, but it's on now, as you see. And now it's all the matter of slapping the summer gun on. You know? Oh, another thing on your spline for your steering column or steering shaft. This is flat right here, as you can see. It's pretty much keyed. This means when you line it up with your steering shaft, it'll only go in one way, and you actually want that bolt to go through one of these side slots right here. Right here. All right, so we're gonna get this thing up there, y'all. Stand by. All right, we're gonna slide this gearbox up in here right quick. And Turkey is going to line up the bolts for it on the outside of the fender there. I gotta pick it up some more. Okie dokie. Bottom one. Start with the bottom one. Alright everybody, let's go ahead and stick our steering shaft. But before we do, we gotta get this plug out the way. Alright. The flat spot is over here. This thing only goes in one way, y'all. Alright, let's screw this line on there. So your front line is going to the right side, and the other one is your smaller line. Let me make sure the O-ring is still on there, and it is. Probably should have put this small one in first. Alright, I'm gonna tighten up these lines and we'll be back, y'all. Alright, y'all, now we got the lines hooked up. Don't forget to slide your cover back in. It just catches on to this line. I'm actually gonna leave it off right now because I wanna check for leaks after we crank this up. Alright. So, well, you know what? Yeah, we'll go ahead and slap it on. I don't believe it's gonna leak. Just like that, y'all. Now, all we gotta do is put the air filter back and the battery box. So, we're gonna go ahead and do that off camera. We'll be back. So, we're on the side of the fender, front driver side fender. And we're finna check for leaks from those two lines. This is one line and this is the other line with the cover on it. This is the only way we could show or see if it's leaking or not, because everything else on top, like the battery box, your air filter and your turbo tube and all that is hooked up. So anyway, I'm gonna have Big Boy crank it up and let's see. And cross y'all fingers nothing shoot out, man. Go ahead, Big Boy. Turn the wheel. Turn it. All right. Go the other way. Oh. Turn it out. That's good. Turn it off. All right, y'all. Looks like we looking all right. Looking all right, y'all. Alright, y'all, so that's how you replace your power steering gearbox or your gearbox, whatever you want to refer to it as, on this F350 Superduty. This is a 7.3 liter motor. It is a diesel. It is a 4x4. So, yep. Now we got to go take this to the alignment shop to make sure everything is tight and straight and true like we want it to do. But with all that being said, remember, you can't fix it too. Peace.